painted the cockpit here, and I painted it with Model Air gray blue. I also painted the underneath of the canopy, and I painted the bottom of the front of the ship so that when it's all together it'll all be black. I also have a little figure here. This is a 144 figure from the U-Wing kit. I think it's K2SO, but it's going to become a human pilot. So I just put some black on there, and I'll put some color on top of that. As far as the cockpit, I'm going to dry brush some Model Air German gray, and then I'll come back. The last dry brush I did on this was a combination of the Model Air German gray mixed half and half with the Vallejo Mecha Color dark steel. So it does give me a little bit of a sheen. Like I said, you're not going to see a whole lot in this once it's all together, but that's good to go for the cockpit. I also did some pastel brushing on the inside of the engine wells here, and then some on the outside, because once I put all this together I won't be able to get in there that well. I also did it on the ends of the engines, actual engines. Put some exhaust smoke, whatever it is, charring. So now I'm set to I'm going to paint the figure, and I think I have one more thing to put on the cockpit, the seat and stuff for the figure, and then I can move on to actually hooking up the lighting and everything and put this thing together and seal it. I've inserted all the fiber optics into the holes in the cockpit. This is 0.25 fiber optics. I still need to go and put color on the tips of the fiber optics. Usually I do that first, but this is so tiny, and I knew I was going to have to use a tool to push the fiber optic in as far as I possibly could, which would just scrape it off. So I'll do that once I get everything hooked up and glued down and light blocked. So where I'm at so far on here is I've got everything 5-minute epoxied coming all the way around here, and I stopped right here, and then it'll go into this little light box thing where I put a 805 SMD. So this little piece of tube styrene here is loose, so what I'm going to do is 5-minute epoxy that when I figure out how far it needs to be, and then once that glue is dry I'll cut off the excess of the fiber optics, and then I'll take some tweezers and I'll pop it in that little light box. So I'm going to do all that and then I'll come back. I have wired the engines up, and then I took some tulip and put on the backs to light block the back here, and everything here is glued and everything here is glued. Obviously I still have the other halves to put on, but I needed to be able to make sure I could run my wires and stuff. This wire is magnet wire, which is very, very thin, and that's the reason why I needed it. And I have it hooked up here so I can turn it around. I can show you the tail lights, or the engines. They came out really well, and I think they are still in scale with the size of the kit. So what I need to do now is I need to put the rest of this together and finish off the cockpit, and then glue all the pieces together, and then I will come back and show you what that looks like. Everything is together, everything is wired. I haven't glued the back pieces and the cones on, or the canopy, because I still need to put on some decals. I got these decals from a guy on eBay. I'll put the link in the description in case you guys might want to do the same. And you have several different ones here. You've got red jammer, gold 1, gold 2, so forth. So you can make whatever Y-wing you want. But everything's working. I did make a wiring mistake, which is stupid on my part, but I wired everything together, and I didn't realize that when I did that, the flickering SMDs, or the flickering LEDs, were going to make the SMD flicker also. So what I'm going to do is, I have several of these kits, so I'm going to put together another one and bring it up to this point and get everything wired and stuff. And then when I do, I'll come back for part 4 and we'll start doing the weathering, the decals, and all that stuff. So I want to thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you for part 4.